Hello everyone, I'm Terry Candlestick, and this is just a little video done to some of my footage from Cat Quest. I did to record the 12 Days of Kitmas, and I figured for the last video of the year, other than the 12 Days of Kitmas coming out in the next couple days, I would just sit back and just talk. It's been quite a year, hasn't it? Started out doing Route 65 playthroughs on January 26th. I started out with Carl's route. And of course we did a few other Echo routes, including Jenna's, which was really nice. We started Placid Plastic Duck Simulator on May 20th. We started Coffee Talk on July 18th. And of course, as that was going, we were doing the October vids, starting October 1st. And Cat Quest we started on November 3rd. I really thought that, last year I did the Call of Cthulhu playthrough, and that did pretty good. I had some really good shorts. I had some really good content. I thought this year was gonna do equally as well, and it just didn't. It didn't hit at all. It's not blaming anybody, but it's just kind of disappointing. I really wanted to have more. Would have been nice to see it do well. Not sure if I'll do another Halloween themed set of videos for October. You just continue doing it. Doing other things, More furry related content. And of course, more visual novels. My focus is. And of course, outside the channel, I had my first furry convention. A BLFC, Biggest Little Fur Con, in Reno, Nevada. That was between October 13th and 16th. That was quite a lot of fun. Like I said, it was my first one. I got some really nice shirts. I've got one that is saying empty brain on it. I think that was really funny. I think every furry should have at least one shirt that they can wear and it says something about an empty brain on it. I think that's just like a fun thing. Just having that. Really fun. And of course, I also got a nice little Fluttershy pillow. Kind of like a little, I guess, was it side pillow? Not that. I don't know, just like a little decoration pillow. Put on your bed, put on a couch. It is a nice little bit. I was really amazed as all of the dealers at Dealer's Den. That was really, really cool. Seeing everything that happened. Meeting a few people, seeing the different, what are they called? Geez, slipping my mind. Panels. Seeing all the different panels that were out, that you could go to. That was really cool. One of the first ones was, how do you know if you're a furry? And it was very eye-opening. I like the idea of it being on a sliding scale. It's not a black and white thing where you're up to this point you're not a furry and then suddenly, yeah, you're a furry now. I like it because you could be from not at all a furry, no interest in furry related content or anything, media, to so furry that other furries cringe at you. I think is funny. Also, the coming out stories. A few of us shared our coming out stories. That was funny. Forget what mine is. Well, I remember what it is. I just forget the game. But there was a kind of a Might and Magic game on Sega Genesis. Way back then, 90s. 1990s. And there was this pure white werewolf named Sasha in the game. She was part of the evil side, obviously. And I think it was called Blood and Iron. But she was part of the evil side, and from what I understand about werewolves, she should either be completely unintelligent, just a ravenous monster attacking everything she can. And some would say, well, she is that. Well, she's working on a team of evil people. So, not really. That was my justification. She was my hear me out. Like, hear me out here. If Sasha is a werewolf, but she is conscious and aware enough and has the level of self-control required for her to actively work on a team and not attack her teammates, I think I could fix her. That was my justification back then. And later I look back at that and think that's probably when I had my awakening. Probably around there. That or Sonic AM. You know, the one that was like the real gritty one, the less saturated, more realistic looking, realistic quote unquote. Sonic that had Bunny Rabbit, Sally the princess, and just everyone else. The whole crew was just awesome. I love that TV show. It sucks they took that away. The other one with the two robots, that was fun, but, you know, it just didn't hold a candle to the more gritty, adult Sonic the Hedgehog. Sad AM. I would watch that for days. If y'all watched it, y'all know what I'm talking about. Let me know. Love to hear about your opinions on it in the comments below. Also, props if you read the comic books or still read them. Because the characters just great. And the story continued in the comic books up to the point of, like, I don't want to spoil it, but there was some stuff happening, different characters changing roles. And damn, I really wanted to see that. I really wanted to see that on the screen. When I found out some of the stuff that was in the comics that never made it to the TV show, I was sad. Because I really wanted to see all that. Plus, I wanted to see more Bunny. She a pretty southern girl. I'm from the South myself, so when that came up, I was still in the South. It was like, she's a southern girl too, woohoo! So I was ready for more Bunny. So those two things, but primarily I think Blood and Iron, Sasha, with that pure Snow White fur, big red top, and those dark pants. I was like, girl, you work on a team. Girl, I can bring you into society. You don't have to be out there on your own. We'll make it work. I can fix you. Come to Butthead. So yeah, that was BLFC. I also saw a lot of ideas for future videos and series. One of them is Monster Hunter. I've got the first Monster Hunter that you can get on Steam. I've got that bought. I just need to actually start playing through it. I also have Palworld. I have had Palworld for a while. Finn got it for me. I'm going to say, I'm a huge fan of Nintendo, but I cannot stand by them and what they're doing to the developers of Palworld. I mean, it's bad enough that Warner Brothers went and took the Nemesis system and whatever the game it was they had. I don't know. I've only heard about this. And just locked it away behind copyright and would never use it again, probably. That's a tragedy. That's a shame, because all of us gamers, we would love to have a system like that. But, of course, greedy corporations are going to lock it away and say, never again, for whatever reason they can. And it's bullshit. Equally so is bullshit with situation with Nintendo and Power World. Never should have had any lawsuit going on between them. Competition is good in a capitalist society. And bullshit like what Nintendo is doing is exactly the reason why a lot of people nowadays, younger people, just don't feel like capitalism works, because corporations like Nintendo are allowed to get away with this shit. And they really shouldn't. I think even Japan, I heard, I haven't looked this up or verified it, so take it with a grain of salt. Japan, Japan, whatever agency or ministry or whatever is in charge of copyright laws, if they have any, they said, no, you cannot copyright the mechanic of throwing balls or spherical objects at creatures and using them out in battle and having them help you outside of battle in the environment. That's ridiculous. You cannot copyright that. And so Nintendo ran to the United States Copyright Office and said, hey, can we do this? And apparently America's Copyright Office just said, sure, that sounds fine to me. Of course, what the hell is wrong with you, American Copyright Office? That's obviously wrong. Never should that have even crossed your mind to say yes. That's stupid. So, no, just bad. That's why I'm soft boycotting Nintendo. I haven't bought any new games. I haven't bought the Switch 2. I don't plan to. Part of that is also the bricking that they can do with the Switch 2 until they have completely decided not to do the whole bricking situation. I am not going to buy a Switch 2. Just putting it out there. If you don't know what the bricking situation is, first off, where have you been? Actually, it's probably a good thing you're not on the internet as much. So, it's good. But the bricking is, apparently, Nintendo can just remotely shut down and lock your Nintendo Switch 2 if they don't like what you're doing. And mostly they're concerned about modifications to their system. And now, that, of course, has both good and bad. I know, the heresy. But hear me out. Oh, God. Now, hear me out. Some people at work have pointed out that the value of some Nintendo games is skyrocketing. And I'm not just talking about Pokemon. I'm talking about other things, like exclusive, like Japan exclusive Nintendo cartridges. Including some where the Japanese McDonald's trained employees on how to cook a burger. They apparently trained them on Nintendo products. So there's an actual cartridge you can find. I forget what system it was for, but look it up if you don't believe me. I think this thing's going for like $900. How to cook a McDonald's burger for the Japanese employee. That's not what it's called, but basically that's the idea. And oh my god, my coworker looked it up, showed it to me. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" I've learning Japanese. I'm kind of being able to speak read some of it, but yeah, I couldn't read it, but damn. That's incredible. Yeah. But still, I'm putting that out as an example of the positive of Nintendo being so strict is the value of their older games tends to go up and stay up. This isn't the first time they've done controversial stuff like this. I mean, back when we had the Nintendo NES, though, they were very strict. Nintendo was very strict over who could and could not make cartridges and games for the Nintendo NES. There's this one company, I think it's Gen something, that would make, I guess, bootleg games for the NES. And yeah, Nintendo, I guess you could say they hated them. They tried very hard to get rid of those cartridges. But that was I'm hesitant to say the only example, but it's one of the major examples of people who somehow got around the strict the strict policies of Nintendo when it comes to controlling what and who can make games for them. They really loosened up with the Switch, which I'm kind of happy for, because you have all kinds of great games. It really brought Nintendo, into the forefront of all these different games, like smaller developers like FromSoft. Fenrir got me Dark Souls for the Switch, and I played it a little bit, but I've never really been a Dark Souls person. I'm one of those guys where I play it, I get my ass handed to me a few too many times, and I kind of just put it down and say, I don't think this game's for me. But Elden Ring's kind of curing me of that a little bit, because yeah, the story is just awesome. So there's that. I don't know how we got on here, but yeah, Nintendo. Oh, that's right, Palworld, and me liking it. I would like to do a playthrough of Palworld, because I think that's furry enough. I would like to do Pokemon, but I'm not going to touch any Nintendo games for this channel. But I love Pokemon. I play it on my own, but I'm not going to put it on here. But I will play Palworld, and I could, of course, support Palworld and all of its efforts to defeat Nintendo in court and punish them severely for their transgressions of trying to copyright mechanics and decrease competition, because that's not okay. Also, it's not okay to brick someone's hardware that they buy. You're not leasing it to us. You're selling it to us. There's a difference. And if you can't figure that out, you're going to have a hard time maximizing your profits in probably the largest consumer environment and market on the planet. So, good luck. So then, after that, I think we should go to the topic of Kaiser Hund. My old buddy Kaiser, who you may have noticed not too long after the new year, him and Finn and I stopped. Well, he stopped participating in the collab, the Echo collab with Finn and I. And I'm just going to say, we both felt, I think you could see it in those early videos, that his participation was more disruptive than we would like. It was very frustrating, actually. I still like Kaiser. I still think he's a good guy. But it just wasn't right for him. So that was something that just couldn't continue. It's something I would like. I'm not sure about his Welcome to Echo story. I'm calling it a fan fiction because it's using so much intellectual property from the Echo Project team. And honestly, back then, I had not experienced enough Echo to really appreciate it. But now that I have experienced more of it, I actually think it's a pretty good story. The only problem I would find with it is that unless you are as dedicated a fan of Echo and all of their properties as Kaiser is, you won't understand what's going on, and it will seem just weird. There's so much you don't understand. I still need to go back and read it again just to make sure, but that's what I'm going to say. And if you agree with me, if you're a super fan of the Echo Project, first, good on you. It's a great series, great group. Second, run over to Kaiser Hoon's channel. That's Welcome to Echo, and I'll link it in the comments or link it in the description below for you. Go over, listen to some of his videos, and if you're not subscribed already and you enjoy what he's doing, give him a subscription and encourage him, because he's taken the falling out and lack of collaboration between Finn and I, or with him. He's taken it very hard, and he needs all the encouragement he can. So I encourage everyone, if you like what he's doing, give him a follow and give him a little encouragement with some subscriptions. He's also on Blue Sky, if you want to see what he's been up to there. You can also see the majority of his disliking of the situation over there. But another place, give him a little shout out if you would like to see more from him. I've already had some people reach out to me asking about him. Some of them worrying about him based on what he's been doing on Blue Sky. And yeah, I just wanted to give him a little bit of support and tell everyone you can go give him that support, because not only would he very much appreciate it, I think he really needs it. Needs a lot of encouragement, which a lot of us do, depending on the situation and the time. So now, one thing that comes up in my workplace, because we have some very dedicated Christians at my workplace, is the phrase, Happy Holidays. Now, I don't know what you feel about, I don't know how you feel about that phrase. But I didn't really mind it much, but he took issue with it. And so I started to look it up, I started looking up all the different holidays that are taking place around this time of year, that is Christmas, for us. Well, at least for me, because I'm kind of a Christian myself. And I found, of the major holidays, of the major religions, there's only 3, maybe 4, that you could really count. There's, of course, Christmas. There's also Kwanzaa. So I'm not too sure about that one. I'm not sure what it is. And then there is Hanukkah. And some people have also said there's Chanukah, which is very similar to Hanukkah. But I couldn't find any for Hinduism, Buddhism, or Islam. I couldn't find any holidays for those religions that are taking place around the winter months. So I don't really know what the emphasis on Happy Holidays is right here, or who we would be offending by saying Merry Christmas, especially in the United States. Now, one time of the year in which I think most of the major religions, at least the Abrahamic faiths, all have holidays, is around April, because that's when Easter is. But there's also a similar holiday for Islam. I think there's Ramadan. It happens around there. I hope that's not Israel. But Israel has Israelis have their own, and then the Muslims have their own, and of course the Christians have their own. Honestly, it makes more sense to say happy holidays around that time, because so many different faiths have major holidays around that time, and they're very important spiritually for them. So, if there is a push to say happy holidays, I say, personally, it doesn't make any sense to me to say happy holidays around Christmas time, because, especially in America, there's only Christmas. Who are you offending? Muslims don't have a holiday around this time. If I'm mistaken, please let me know. I don't mind being corrected. And if someone's Jewish, you should, there's a pretty good chance you're going to see a practicing Jew. I think based around how they dress, especially if they're celebrating Hanukkah or Chanukah. And I think it's the same thing with anyone celebrating Kwanzaa. You're going to recognize them if they're actively celebrating one of their holidays. And then at that point, I think it's okay to say happy holidays, but to really stress it, the only time I would really stress it is going to be around Easter, so that's in April. Otherwise, it's just kind of silly. It's a silly argument, at least in my opinion. You're, of course, free to have your own. I don't mind. If you feel strongly about it, I very much encourage you to leave me a message on this video. Let me know why. I'm not going to argue with you or say you're wrong, but that's going to be your opinion. I'd actually like to hear from it, because, like I said, I don't mind being correct. And finally, to end off this video, I have a small rant about eggnog. Yes, of all things, eggnog. Now, personally, I like having eggnog each year, since a few years ago. I like to have it with some Southern Comfort bourbon. It's very good. But, you know what's not good about eggnog? It's a calorie count. I'm trying to count my calories, try to lose weight. And ever since I started doing that this year, ever since I started doing that, and got my eggnog for this year, and looked at the calorie count, I can recognize while I get a little bigger around this time of year each year. Let me explain. Whole milk for 1 full cup, that's 16 ounces, is 160 calories. That's whole milk. Eggnog, for only half a cup, 8 ounces. God, I hope I have those ounces correct. Is 180 calories. It's more than double. That would mean an entire cup of eggnog, before you put any other fun juice in it, is going to be 360 calories for 1 cup, minus the fun juice. Eggnog. Why are you so damn fattening? Calm it down. But that's it. That's my rant about eggnog. I understand why I get bigger. And my question is why? Why eggnog? Why do you taste so good? Especially with Southern Comfort. And with that, everyone, I think this will bring us to the end of the videos for this year, 2025. I will say also, come next year, I will be doing some other things outside of the channel. So I'll be taking some classes, studying for a degree. I'll be taking some professional development courses to help grow professionally. So I will be reducing my... I will be changing my schedule from Monday, Wednesday, Friday to Tuesday and Thursday, so only twice a week. It's been a good grind, though. I haven't minded it too much. But I just want to give some more time to what I'm doing. And I'm going to take a little bit of time off. This, outside of the 12 Days of Kitmas coming up, which I hope you've all enjoyed. That's going to be coming out on Christmas Day, Thursday. The full song, sung by yours truly. I hope you've enjoyed it. And that will be the last video of this year. So, a little bit after that, it'll be into the new year. Not too far into it when I start posting new videos. And I'll be recording new content to post in the new year. The new schedule of Tuesday and Thursday. So with all that, everyone, I wanted to say thank you for 60 subscribers. It's been a wild year. Had a lot of stuff happen. And thanks for watching. Not just this video, but everything. Again, go over, say hi to Kaiser. Give him a subscribe and give him some encouragement. Because it would be nice to see him continue his Welcome to Echo. And let him know that you want to see more if you do. If you don't, probably just don't say anything. Just let the suspense, mystery of it all can go on. But as for this year, thank you for watching. Have a Merry Christmas, or Happy Hanukkah, or Happy Kwanzaa. If you don't separate any of those, have a happy holiday season. And I'll see you next year. Happy New Year. To all, a good night.